My next team gonna be the Hawks. I just like how they built, man. I think they're the pieces that they already had, they're gonna get better, and then they added a lot of talent. Talk about with Bogey, and then they also added Gallinari, so they added shooting, and then they also added Rondo too, which I really liked. Um, they why are you looking like that?
Because I'm waiting.
I like Rondo. He's a dude that's going to give him that playoff experience. A team that I think is a question is what is their floor like? What is the team? What is how many wins can we expect this team to have looking at their roster?
Okay, you didn't mention Chris Dunn. That's what I was waiting for, but okay.
Man, forget Chris Dunn.
Got
He's
him
gonna
hurt
have
a
a
Right?
couple
You talk
seasons.
about forget Chris Dunn. He gonna be that staple, that wing defender that they need. You tripping?
You know,
Um, he don't watch Bull. He didn't watch Bulls games. You go watch Hawks games. You are gonna be like, damn, Chris Dunn actually nice as hell on defense. Can't do nothing else. But okay, what is the floor of this team? So we're talking about with a 72 game season. Um, I think the floor would be like a 36 game, 36 wins would be the floor to me. What'd you say, D Mills?
you said 36 wins. That's
Yeah,
the floor.
that would be the floor to me. I mean, make it like if nobody gets injured and nobody ends up nobody important ends up contracting the virus, because y'all know if they contract the virus, they're out for 12 days at the minimum, which is
Mhm.
usually going to be like 5 games. So if Trey Young, God forbid, ends up catching it, he missed 5 games,
Mhm.
they're going to be in trouble. And I feel like a lot of teams kind of fit that as well. So on a perfect healthy season, I think that would be their floor. But I think their ceiling will probably be like whatever the number is to get like maybe 6 seed, 7 seed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I could definitely see that. I mean, when I was trying to just make it a little bit relative, like, because obviously we're missing 10 games. I was thinking like maybe if we add those 10 games, maybe they go five and like 5-5. So maybe they overall they end around like 40 some wins in like a regular season. Like
Mhm.
in the East, that
That's just
seems like
that's literally
around.
what I said though.
Yeah, but whatever in the in the
but
East, that seems like a 6 or 7 seed though. So like, and that was their floor too.
yeah.
So I think there should be high expectations for this Hawks team. And
Nah, bro. Contrell's floor was 36.
Mm,
His ceiling was a 6 seed.
mm.
right,
Not the ceiling being, I mean, not the floor being a 6 seed.
Yeah, you said the floor was a 16.
regardless of seeing expectations, I
No,
think no regard.
I'm saying what KB said. What's your if
I'm
your thoughts is that their floor is the 6 seed, say that.
no, I'm saying I was comparing relative to what he was saying when they were like 36 wins in a 72 game season. I'm just adding the wins, just like I'm thinking of it relative to an 82 game
That's the
season.
same. But that what we
Right.
basically what we said, they're on the same
We
pace.
were
They're
yeah
gonna
yeah
be something
we're
and
agreeing
some
with each other.
41 and 41, 36 and 36. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
For me, when I think of the Hawks, I gotta look past this season. Don't think they're gonna do shit serious. They'll make the playoffs cool. But I look at the things surrounding that. Like when we like for instance, I played like the my 2K thing on 2K, just trying to get a feel for it. I was the Pistons. Our first game was against the Hawks. Cam Reddish didn't play because they have like literally in 2K, and I'm playing 12-minute quarters. He played garbage minutes. He played like the last minute because even 2K knows you can't play that many players. Somebody falls out of the loop. We already know Gallinari is coming off the bench for John Collins. I'm assuming Clint Capella is going to start, which
Hmm.
means now Aneka Kongu comes off the bench. Um, Hunter, Hunter has to probably start at small forward, and then you're going to have Bogey and Trey. Now off the bench, you have Rondo, you have Okongwu, you have Gallinari, you
You have
have Herder,
Herder.
you have Reddish, you
Yeah.
have Chris Dunn, who you signed. Everybody can't play, so I'm interested to see how that shapes up. Rumblings already that John Collins could be the odd man out as far as the trade because of the money that he's going to want. They probably don't want to give it to him. I'm looking at things like that because even I think they can make the playoffs, but I know when they do and if they can make the playoffs, they're not probably going to do too much. It'll just be something good for their young team. But I'm looking at the odd man out and how they're going to handle that because I think they put themselves in a position to where they're loaded and they have some depth, but um, we know depth ain't always the answer. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it'll be especially when you have a team that's young and that you're trying to develop. Even if Cam Reddish does find a way to get minutes, is it going to be enough for him to develop his whole game? Same with Hunter and Herder. So, we'll see.
I,
Yeah, we definitely saw last season like DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish. The second half of the season, they were really starting to come together and they was hooping. So like it's kind of interesting to see how that even works with that log jam at their position. Like when you have young stars like that developing, like and they looking and they're showing that potential, I don't think you should go get guys that will really like hinder their minutes because you're gonna give those guys those minutes and it puts pressure on them to now really come out and hoop. And I feel like you don't want to put that pressure on your young guys, especially only in their second season.
I agree.
I got a counter to that, bro. My counter would be they already got their guy, face of the franchise guy, Trae Young. He ready to go. It looks like I'm trying to get my team is well prepared to get to the playoffs and get the best out of him so far. If that's demoralizing for the young guns,
at what cost?
If that's demoralizing the young stars that they don't want to play hard, then I mean, wow.
No, I think that there's some value in competition, right?
Right.
I don't want to just throw him out there because he's young and we spent the draft pick on him. I'm cool with him fighting with the other wings on the team for his minutes. Because at the end of the day, I think that'd be better for him instead of being like, here, we drafted you at 6, so now you have to play 30 minutes a game so you can develop. How about you work your ass off and you beat this other guy? If you really want these minutes.
Check it out. Now, we'll go with that point of view. Now, what if he does outplay those guys and you just paid Gallinari that bag to not really play? It's like
that I don't think that's the thing because Gallinari's third year is non-guaranteed. It's like $5 million. Like, I mean, there are multiple spots. Like the guys that we're talking about, good thing about their wings is that they can run a couple different positions, right? Where DeAndre Hunter can be a 3 or 4, Cam Reddish can be a 2, 3, or 4. The way he defends, like there are different spots that they can run.
John Collins is a lock to play 35 minutes at the least. Not a bunch of minutes at the 4. It's just not. Like, I don't care how versatile those wings are. He's a lock to play that many minutes. Trae Young is a lock to play even more minutes, like 37 to 38 minutes. And even if he doesn't, Chris Dunn and Rondo, cool. Bogdan, for the money that they paid him, he's a lock to play 35-plus minutes. The wing is the only open spot, and those two are going to have to battle for it. And then hopefully, there's just an odd man out. Because even when I thought, when I just said that, I'm like, shit, they can just split that. But then technically, they really, somebody's still out. We still.
Right. I mean, but that's what they got themselves into by drafting 2 guys at the same position in the same year, right? So they basically like maybe one of these 2 guys will turn out, and if one of them do, then we hit the lottery. Right, like selecting Cam Reddish. I don't think they knew that they were going to end up with Cam Reddish. Because you remember he fell in this draft, and they were like, "This is gold. This is gold for us. We have to take this shot." And I mean, I don't know how these guys are going to develop, but I believe that Cam Reddish will be a better player than DeAndre Hunter when it's all said and done.
I think Cam Reddish will be a better player.
I think he'll be more diverse. I think
RJ Barrett.
I think he'll be more diverse than Hunter. Hunter just seems to me like the typical 3-and-D guy, which are very valuable in basketball. But like, I think Cam Reddish can literally will be able to create his own shot one day. And his defense is good too, or show flashes of that.
I literally look at him as like a young Paul George.
Yeah.
And his career looks like the same trajectory. Paul George was picked around 10 to 11. I think Cam Reddish was picked 10th. Both ain't come out the gate being the guy because he had Danny Granger, he has Trae Young, and the guys in front of him. Paul George's first moment was guarding Derrick Rose in the playoffs against the Bulls. That sounds like what Cam Reddish will probably have to do in these playoffs if he's able to get the minutes. I'm not saying anything that they did was bad. I'm just saying when I look at the future, I just want to see how they handle those questions because they're going to come. That's just what it is. And if you have to get rid of some guys who have extreme potential, I don't know if it's worth getting the 6th seed at your highest. The ceiling being a 6th seed, I don't know if it's worth it if you're going to have to trade John Collins and Cam Reddish.
But I feel like I think we're probably looking too short-sighted, right? So the Gallinari contract is literally just 2 years guaranteed. And they could come up with, hopefully they extend John Collins because he's worth the money. I don't know if he's worth a max, but he's worth a good amount of money. And in that time, Gallinari ended up being 34, 35 going into that 3rd year of his contract that's not even guaranteed. Like Gallinari and could be like this bridge to when it's time for us to really be the real deal, right? I think that's what hopefully that's what they got in mind because he is a vet. He's a good locker room guy from everything I've heard, and he knows how to win. at the end of the day. He ain't won on the top level, but he knows how to help a team be competitive and win. And that's what Atlanta Hawks fans have been waiting for 3 years. And that's what Trae Young wanted. Like, the reason they made these deals is because Trae Young basically walked in the locker in the front office like, let's win. I'm tired already. I've been here for 2 seasons. I'm tired of this shit. So let's go get players that'll help us win. And they did that. What'd you say?
That's that. Put the pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fail you because they're not supposed to be in a situation to thrive. And then he's going to get his way out. Anthony Davis recipe.